Welcome back to Words of Wokism, and today I'm doing justice. You would think I would have done this sooner, right? Social justice. Seems like justice would have been one of the first words in the Words of Wokism catalog, but no. I've waited until now, not on purpose. It just happened that way. This is episode 31. Did I already say that? Anyway, what is justice in the woke lexicon? Well, it's not actual justice. It has nothing to do with righting a wrong or restoring your property, making you whole, or punishing a wrongdoer, or somehow, making sure the balance of power oriented towards individual liberty and protecting rights is maintained and restored and so on. No, it has nothing to do with that. Nothing whatsoever. Justice, as it is used currently, means more or less it's a combination of revenge and replacement. So those are the two R words I would use. Revenge for perceived wrongs. Most often they are perceived. They're not actual measurable wrongs. And the replacement is the replacement of the existing culture with the new culture. The culture of neo-Marxism and all of its various denominations. Whether it's climate justice, health justice, food justice, gender justice, ethnic justice, you name it. Decolonization, all the different qualified kinds of justice. And that's your first clue that it doesn't have anything to do with actual justice. And it has to do with a redesign or a replacement of the culture with the new culture. It has a completely new set of standards and a new social hierarchy of who gets to be on top, who are the winners in the society, who are the losers in the society. And in order to do that, you have to disguise this revenge and replacement activity as the pursuit of something good. Because in order to get the existing dominant culture, Western culture, capitalist culture, whatever you want to call it, in order to get them to either let you do what you're doing, play along, or even join you, you have to convince them of doing something good. At first. That's already happened. That's not future tense. That's come and gone. Now we have the culture already replaced. The new dominant culture in the West is what some of you call Wokism. I mean, I would just call it neo-Marxism, communism, really. Just minus the government or the people or the proletariat owning all the means of production. That's not what it is anymore. That's what we call it neo-Marxism, because the Marx version, where you take over the factories and kick out the owners and take over from the landlords and everything. No, we're way past that. At this point, the means of production is the means of cultural production, cultural reproduction. The academy, where we are taught everything that we are supposed to know, and the schools, education, entertainment, media, news media, journalism, the law, politics. So the means of reproducing the culture, the means of producing culture, that's already been captured, done and dusted. It's done. So now the justice activity is, making sure that all the stragglers who don't want the old culture, the formerly dominant but now minority culture, to go away. They want to continue to reproduce it. They want to continue to parent their own children. They want to continue to educate their children in Western civilization. They would like the government to continue to be a Republican form of government and not a completely communist form of government. Certainly not an identity Marxist kind of government. That these stragglers have to be dealt with. So you have to have justice. And all that means then is, like I said, the replacements happen. So now we have the revenge, and I guess I should have added a third one, which would be punishment. to disincentivize anybody else from, being uppity in that way. So, and there's a sorting that goes on in there too, and we have to find out where these people are. So that's why it looks a lot like things like cancel culture. It looks like struggle sessions, forced apologies, laws, legislation about that you must buy an electric vehicle because of climate justice. You can't eat meat. We want to shut down farmlands and so on. This is all of these, and then they attack on the word justice. Obviously, it has nothing to do with justice. It has to do with finishing the job of replacing the old social order, the old cultural order, the old way of running the country, the world, the region, whatever you want to call it, with the new way. But we call it justice. Hopefully you won't notice them coming along to steal your stuff or hurt you or threaten you, or you won't fight it as much. You might actually believe, as they're doing it to you, that this is something good. So as you're on the receiving end of a struggle session about some wrong think that you expressed, that maybe you'll feel like, if I just do what they want, all will be well. Everything will be fine for me and I'll just get through it on the other end. And of course, that's not possible, because eventually, after they get done with all of this justice, the reality of reality will set in, and there won't be enough food, there won't be enough productivity, and there won't be enough money, and there won't be enough things. And then we'll have to kick the justice machine back into gear to find new wrongs to punish you for, with the ultimate punishment. That's been the history of social justice. This isn't new. This isn't, post George Floyd, post 2016. No. Go all the way back. I mean, you could go back probably farther than this, but let's just stop at the French Revolution. Shall we? The bloodbath that was the pursuit of justice. Remember that? Liberté, égalité, fraternité, right? Liberty, equality, brotherhood. They were Marxists before they knew about Marx. Marx wasn't even born yet. And it was all, and justice, and we have to have, all these new rules, and, we're going to empty the Bastille and then refill it with a new set of people, different prisoners. Behead them. So we behead the king, we behead all these people for the sake of the peasants, and then these peasants are not falling in line quick enough. These people in the middle management are not falling in line, and these people are not doing what we want. And when does it end? It doesn't end, because at some point people are like, all right, that's enough. But it's not enough. It's not enough. Justice that isn't really justice that's about revenge and replacement of an old way, doesn't really have a limiting principle at all. So all it takes is, people with the weapons, whoever's got the keys to the guillotine, to decide, there's somebody out there who's still not towing the line that I want them to tow today. So we got to keep going with our justice. Then move forward to the Russian Revolution. Their signs read, justice, equality, and bread. We know how that worked out. Right? Lenin, Stalin, lots of dead bodies, lots of famine. Got to go kill those farmers. Who were the farmers hurting? Well, they were kind of hurting this notion that we should be a worker's paradise when they were so independently farming their own food. Can't have that. Got to kill the kulaks. So it never really ends. In order to justify their version of justice, they need some more justice, which looks like, more force, more dead. And then let's see, we move forward to where should we go from there? Mao. We'll go to Mao, right? Oh, he was a big social justice warrior, had all of it, his own version of intersectionality, kill the landlords and the people who, were artists and reproducing the old culture. The four olds, can't have that. We got to replace them with the new culture. Catching on? Pol Pot. He said in so many words, I was just pursuing social justice, what he defined as social justice. It's a made-up thing that just roughly means get rid of what is and replace it with what I want. But I haven't quite figured out what it is that I want. I'll figure it out as I go along, and, or not, maybe. But everybody who isn't in agreement with me all the time, except me, of course, because I contradict myself every moment. But I happen to have the guns or the power or whatever. People are turning to me or the group of people that are around me for guidance. We're going to keep on with the justice, even if we have stacks of skulls and stacks of bodies and full gulags and so on, because we're not really done. We're not really done. There's still stragglers out there who think they can have their own thoughts. They can do it a different way. They can be independent. They can strike out on their own. Not allowed. And then, of course, that brings us to now, where we are in the West. And how many different kinds of justice? I listed some of them. And you may think, well, I'll be fine if I just go along with it. Get rid of my gas-powered cars. I'll eat the bugs. I'll get a tiny home, sell my original home, or better yet, I'll just hand it over to the government and they can move in, 25 immigrant families, or, whatever you think you're going to do to be just. By their definition, it won't be enough. It will never be enough. Literally. And until such time as people stand up and call their form of justice unjust with a loud enough voice, with enough numbers saying it, they'll continue on their justice crusade. There is no kinder, gentler social justice that you can replace it with. There is no way to achieve something called food justice, climate justice, health justice that won't infringe on other people's rights, because the word justice is corrupt. The very word doesn't mean what it purports to mean, because there is no measurable wrong that you can attach to individuals. You can't even attach it to the whole culture effectively, because if you really were doing that honestly, being intellectually honest about it, you would have to also find that the same culture they claim is so unjust because there are poor people still in it, because there's still racist incidents in it, because there is pollution, because there are bad things, is the culture that has also lifted more people out of poverty than in all of human history, that has also cleaned the air, cleaned the water, cleaned all kinds of things, and could continue doing so if not interfered with. You'd have to recognize the good with the bad. Can't do that. All bad. So your first sign that justice isn't justice is we're not allowed to talk about any of the good things about the existing culture. It has to be destroyed. It has to be decolonized. We have to pursue degrowth. We have to get rid of everything. Deconstruct it all. And then we will have justice. You might want to stop and ask what justice looks like in the end. When will we know we're done? And when you don't get an answer, ding, 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 that's how you know that they're not pursuing anything resembling justice. They are just pursuing a never-ending course of revenge and replacement for things they don't like and they don't think you should like either.